Wow, what an honor it is to be invited to the Trieste Film Festival, their 34th edition. First of all, you're in Italy, and boy, are stereotypes about Italians wrong. Really, if you want a place where people care about elegance, things being done really nicely but simply, people who are very happy and outgoing, you need to come to Italy. And I'm not even starting on the food. Trieste has always been a very important part of Croatian consciousness. In the former Yugoslavia, it used to be a place, your first contact with, Western fashion, the Western world even. And it was very, very close, yet naturally so far away. Yeah, the reason why I was really interested in Trieste Film Festival is because I am a very amateur filmmaker myself, and this festival focuses on Central European and Eastern European cinema, which is very humbling for this festival to accept that they are, even though politically, maybe even economically, Italy would be more of a Western, historically definitely Western European place. They're looking at the people who live here, the people whose histories make up this town, and they've created a whole film festival around it. I was surprised and really inspired by the types of movies that I've seen last night and one that I'm going to see today. Naturally, there's a whole week of events coming up. Some of the films were already shown at Zagreb Film Festival, so feel free to check out on our website the reviews for those. I was actually impressed by some of the maybe words that the creative directors said about this festival. And I'm looking at them right now. For instance, I loved that, and you can really see it. You can see it in the design of the posters, of the logos for the festival, that this is a festival that is looking for something that is not the norm, something new, something fresh, something going the untrodden way. And you can see it even here in the statement of Nicoletta Romeo, the artistic director, who says that the productions from Central and Eastern Europe are a macroscopic area that continues to churn out talent and films that are controversial, daring, different, often unconventional, sometimes imperfect, but full of courage. I love that one, sometimes imperfect, because a lot of festivals are full of films that are imperfect, but show glorious potential, extreme new ideas, and really care for the medium of film. The festival focuses on films of real life in constant dialogue with reality, from which they do not flee, but which they instead record, analyze, listen to, and pursue. Poetic films, where reality is transfigured, becoming symbol, metaphor, universal song. Or essay films, love films, war films, militant films, films about seeking identity or in search of a past told through lies. All of these words really speak to me as someone, from former Yugoslavia, where all of these realities mix together, not always successfully, but come together and really show the history of Eastern Europe. And this festival is spot on, really knows what it's talking about. My favorite is maybe the closing lines of the artistic director, particularly aimed at young people. And we can see that the festival really wants to engage young people, because now there is a young person's program at the festival as well. And Nicoletta says that the Trieste Film Festival represents a project of cultural resistance that is above all the result of collective work, a professional and experienced team which together faces difficulties and tries to imagine a future. one that includes a young audience that for the first time explores the world of cinema, in which we work with passion and stubbornness. Last night at Trieste Film Festival, I saw 3 movies that you will be able to read the reviews for at Film Fest Report. The 3 movies are special, each in their own way. The first one was the first ever Slovak animation feature called Tvojazem, about a boy and a girl who try to find courage, try to find heart, literally and metaphorically, and who try to find a way to understand why the grown-up world makes them sad sometimes, and how this sadness can lead into aggression, and find a path in which they can be kind, compassionate and loving. The second feature is set in Sarajevo, and it's called The Happiest Man Alive, and is set in this really surreal surroundings of a speed dating event at a hotel, where the 2 people who have matched online, now it transpires that the man was the one who shot at the woman during the war, and the confrontation both evolves or causes emotional conflict, but then also some surrealist moments and sort of imagined depictions of this conflict on screen. And the third film was an Italian feature called Jailbird. Now, for someone who likes mainstream movies, such as myself, this was completely out there, and a beautiful film as well, about a boy who grows up in prison and doesn't want to leave. He just wants to stay within the place that he knows and that he grew up in. It's a very confusing story, but very kind. So even though the plot isn't always easy to follow or isn't always obvious, rational to follow, it's interesting enough to keep you watching till the end. And the amount of ways to interpret what happens in the film and what it means are just so many. Really interesting feature. Check out all the reviews for films from Trieste Film Festival at Film Fest Report.